You're listening to REIA Radio, the nationally trusted name in real estate investing. We dig deep to discover investors' why in real estate. If you want to skip all the BS and get in investors' heads, you're in the right spot. Be one of the thousands to check out REIARadio.com.
This episode is brought to you by PropStream.com.
PropStream is one of the most trusted real estate data software solutions. PropStream benefits all real estate professionals. You can find properties and contact homeowners on the go with PropStream's mobile app. We offer free academy courses tailored to real estate investors and agents. Take advantage of our live webinar demos to learn the software and scale your real estate business. Visit www.propstream.com and sign up for your 7-day free trial to get more leads and grow your business.
Welcome to REIA Radio. This is the Real Estate Rundown with Owen, Dashner, and you, Ted Kaasch. You totally went like a cappella there for a second, or like a beatbox, and I don't know what you were doing, but yeah. Okay, that's enough of that.
You love that, huh?
What's up, dude? This has been crazy, kind of a exciting, busy week for me, just with a bunch of different kind of stuff. And I know you have been busy yourself.
Yeah, I got a ton of stuff on the
busy
list.
Little beaver.
Yeah, but anyway, what's the funnest thing you've done in the last week?
Well, I would say fun and productive. I don't do a ton of road trips, but I headed up to Des Moines, Iowa. A couple hour drive from the O-Town metro area here.
I think I saw the Facebook post on this.
Yeah, we went and looked at a project that we had a loan request on from my lending business, and we walked the site, met with the stakeholders, and just kind of did some due diligence there. Met with another potential partner / co-lender on the deal, which that was really interesting. We've never really done that before.
Yeah.
And looked at it. Anyway, it was a big like commercial project. By the end of it, it was going to be about $43 million was the size of it.
Now, this isn't one like you're a partner in. This is like specifically something that you guys are just loaning on, correct?
Well, yeah, we had a pretty sizable, like several $1 million loan request in this. So we wanted to do some due diligence on the land, the improvements that have been done so far, the stakeholders in the project, the ownership team, and all that. So we hit the road, and then we called in this. It was kind of interesting because we've done a couple of deals with a guy out of Des Moines that is the largest tax lien buyer in the state of Iowa. He buys like millions and millions of dollars of tax liens, and I don't know if I brought this up.
You did.
Before.
We did talk about this.
Okay, yeah. So we met with him and his attorney, and then just did kind of a due diligence walk of the site. And I got to leave some things a little bit vague here because it's still in process. But
legal side of that.
Yeah, it was fun, and we a couple hours up, couple hours back, and Brandon and Colin Colin drove, so we were all. It was just good to catch up and tell stories and talk about real estate and strategy.
Was everybody on phone and conference calls the whole time they were heading up there?
I would say at least half, if not 3/4 of the trip was conference calls with all of us on, some of us, one of us. It was that's what it's like. But it was very good, and it's a good relationship building thing to do a little road trip or a trip somewhere. And not to mention, with your business partners, but also with your the people that you're talking to, even if they're a couple hours away. I think it's invaluable to hit the road and do in person, stuff.
So it's one thing to be like lending, right? But but you got to be like taking tons of knowledge and learning so much from the people that you lend to. Has your investment strategy changed just on what you learned by lending people money?
Oh, for sure. Yes. I mean, I've been exposed to all different kinds of asset classes and deal types, and like the way they go about underwriting things. I've learned almost every single time we do, especially a larger loan. There's things in there that I'm like, what is going on here? Like, why did you do that? Or what's this all about? And then they'll tell me, and they'll tell me why. And I'm like, huh.
It's like a master class you're getting paid for.
Yeah, it is. It's very cool to get to underwrite deals, and I can see why. We've had a couple of people on before that have been commercial lenders, right? Mm-hmm. So their whole background is basically looking at people's investor deals that are coming in, underwriting them, and basically making a decision on a loan. And that's, a lot of what we do, but you get to like peek behind the curtain of how these people are operating. And I will say one thing, it's very telling when you have the ability to look at somebody's personal financial statement and their track record and the type of deals they've done and all that fun stuff. But yes, it's very telling, and it illuminates a lot of things that go behind the scenes with, and you can see how people put together partnerships, debt, equity. It's really cool.
Okay, so switching roles here. How's the meetup going? You started your own little meetup group.
Yeah, a little coffee meetup.
Yeah, and you've been going strong for about 3-4 weeks.
Caffeine and cap rates, little play on words there. I started a little coffee meetup group, kind of a different spin on a typical meetup, which would normally happen once a month at night.
But you get to drink at night, and during the mornings, you generally, unless you're on REIA Radio podcast, you don't get to drink in the mornings.
That's true. I mean, you can until you can't. Yes. Generally there's some guardrails on that with wives and responsible people in your lives and police. But this is let's see. Yesterday we had our third one, and we've been getting 15 to 20 attendees, and they're all different, flavors and experience levels of investors. And we had a commercial agent there yesterday that did a lot of leasing. Never met her before. We had people that have done all different kinds of deals. And then this was really cool, actually. And I stop me if you've heard this before, but so Riley Eccles, I'm
going to stop you. I know Riley Eccles.
You're such an idiot. I know you know her. So okay. Riley Eccles, who we've had on, it was just 5 or 6 episodes ago, was her part 2, but she just got licensed. She was 17 years old
in Iowa,
yep. And got her very first listing. And she was at this little coffee meetup I put on, and she found a buyer at that meetup.
Really?
And they're closing Monday. Cash deal. She's going to get a commission check. It'd be awesome to get a piece of that in the form of a coffee or something next time, Riley. I'm just saying. No, I'm kidding. But that was super cool. So it's really not really an agenda, but what I just like to do is just get some experienced people, and even those that want to learn, in one room, and give us all the opportunity to tell what we're doing, what we're struggling with, what we're looking for in our businesses. And it was just an exchange of good knowledge and contacts. And I think almost everybody there probably could say, I got something out of that personally.
Okay, so I think this airs on the 11th. Is the meetup still going to be happening at that time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell her, I'm going to put it on my calendar right now.
Okay.
So can you tell everybody when the meetup is?
So I think, I can't remember what day it falls on, but
on Thursdays.
The week of let's see, so next Wednesday will be the 11th.
So Monday's the 11th. So after this episode, it'll be the 13th.
Okay. So these happen on Thursdays. So they'll
be the 14th then.
Yeah. Caffeine and cap rates. That's going to be at Sozo Coffee House on 1314 Jones Street in Omaha.
Okay.
And
what time?
Yeah, it's usually 10 to they open at 10 o'clock, so it's 10 o'clock to about 11:30, or some people hang around a little bit longer, or take off whenever they need to. So it's kind of informal, but I feel like it was a really good setting to exchange open dialogue and talk about struggles and successes, and contact exchange, and just talk through stuff.
I'll be there next week.
Yes,
but in exchange, you got to make sure you come see David Dodge.
I will do my absolute best to make that happen. All right. This reminded me so kind of related to this little trip I went on to Des Moines. I have a...
That's your vacation. Des Moines is your vacation.
That's my vacation. Yeah. All right. Are you going to join me in the acapella version of Golden Nugget? All right. So for today's
Golden Nugget.
You always go off script on that.
This Golden Nugget is brought to you by Magic Door.
Magic Door is the AI-powered property management platform designed to handle everything from the rent cycle to the vacancy and maintenance cycles. During the rent cycle, Magic Door collects rent, sends automatic reminders, deducts management fees, and distributes payments to owners. In the vacancy cycle, Magic Door streamlines listings, tenant applications, seamless multi-language communication, screening tenants, and converting applications into leases with one click. And for the maintenance cycle, Magic Door's AI handles everything, asking tenants key questions, assigning tasks to vendors, reminders, and scheduling repairs automatically without you getting involved. With no hidden fees, no onboarding costs, and seamless AI-powered automation, Magic Door takes care of the entire property management lifecycle so you can focus on what matters most.
Today's golden nugget: due diligence. Here's a subtle reminder. When you have a deal that you're either loaning on, like I just mentioned a bit ago, or you have under contract, and especially when it's a larger deal where you have a lot more money at risk, whether it's yours or somebody else's, you have to do due diligence, and you have to get eyes on a project where you're going to have a lot of money at risk, especially other people's money. We got a title commitment back. This is a separate deal than the one I was talking about, but we were pretty much good to go on approving a loan that we were going to do. And then we got a title commitment back that had an unfound lien on there, or an undisclosed lien to us for $97,000 on a commercial property.
Ouch.
Yeah. And this was like the day before it was supposed to close. And we're like, what's this? And they're like, oh, yeah, well, that'll go away when we get your loan. It'll be paid off as part of the proceeds. And also, can we get another $100,000 to offset that? And I'm like, no.
Yeah, you just lied to us.
Yeah, and so the message was like, well, yeah, that was we got some story on that, but it was like, yeah, that'll be paid off. And we're like, yes, but you don't understand. This is a judgment for an unpaid loan that you have. Do you not think that's going to be a red flag for somebody that's forking over money to you to operate in the same way? Like, what are you not getting here? So it's just funny to me that, like, do your due diligence, and that's the people, the property, and the paper. I just made that up on the fly.
Yeah, like
the
that.
3 P's
of
due diligence.
Yeah.
People, property, paper.
You should coin that.
I'm going to.
Yes.
It's like the Burr now strategy. TM.
Got the PPP.
Yep. So I feel like that's maybe been used during the pandemic.
Yes, it was.
But I feel like I will say personally, over the years, I don't enjoy due diligence. I like finding deals, getting them lined up, under contract, and then everything after that, I'm just like, I wish I had somebody else that would do it. So whether it's you or whoever on your team, go through the title commitment, because you can find all kinds of stuff in there. And I will admit that, especially with residential flips that I've done, I just kind of like, skim those things. But this was a good reminder to me, because this was an undisclosed huge lien amount that was a glaring example of unpaid obligations that I would be stepping in the role of, right? Huge risk. So we axed that deal.
This is if you guys skipped last week's episode with David Welty, this is a good point to reference.
Oh,
back
yes,
to
for sure.
That podcast.
Yeah.
We're talking about title.
Yep. Okay, so that was today's golden nugget.
Hey, I got something I did want to add to your golden nugget.
Okay, add on.
It's like a nugget on a nugget.
Nugget.
I love nuggets on nuggets. So something I was not aware of that I've learned about recently is I had a property that had some really minor hail damage.
Okay.
And now this property has had 3 roofs, 2 sets of siding already, right? So
how long have you owned it?
4 years.
Welcome to Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah. So obviously I didn't want to put this in. I have a huge deductible on this one because it's a commercial property. So I found a company that does vinyl repair. Mm-hmm. And it's a national franchise. And long story short, they came in, evaluated it. They count how many holes they have. They come in, they patch each hole individually, and then they color match the holes perfectly so you cannot see any of the damage. Now, the franchise is based out of Canada, and with this franchise, it's actually when you put a claim in, it's actually referred by the insurance company to go through this company and get the vinyl repair instead of doing full replacement. So on this one, I had 21 holes on the property.
Okay.
And it cost me about $2,000.
Okay.
To go through and patch everything, and you cannot tell the difference.
Was this on all 4 sides, or
so
was
it on
like
2 sides?
2 sides. Okay.
Yeah. And I had the roof checked. I had no damage on the roof.
Okay. Do you understand how it works?
And
is there like a limit on, like, let's say it's a big hole, like big hail?
No limits.
Wow.
Yeah. And so what they do, from what I watched, is they have a polymer that pretty much that goes in there Then they sand it right into the siding, and then they have stamps that match the trim on the siding, and then they
you mean like the wood grain or whatever,
and then they stamp it right in there. They let it dry for a couple days, and then they come back, and then it's paint matched.
I would love to see how this in action. Like, is there a website or something? Or
I don't know how that right here, but I'll look into that and get that to you. But you can come check out the property and see the spots.
I'd love to, yeah. Because this is a big deal, especially when you're operating in the Midwest, like a lot of our listeners are. Vinyl siding is affordable. It's generally probably your lowest price point of siding if you're gonna do it to a building. And I've always, and it sucks, man, because, like here we get hammered with hail like multiple times a year, and it's not cheap to replace that. And even if you use insurance money for it, that's getting more expensive too, because your deductibles are going up. Wind and hail, it's like a percentage now instead of a flat deductible. I want to see this, so this would be great. Good tip.
There's also another company out there that I've been doing some research on, and the company is called SprayNet. Now they're an outside painting company, and they're interesting in its own. But one service that they provide is regranulating asphalt roofs.
Yeah, so, you brought this up, and I want to hear more about this.
So I don't quote me on all these numbers. I'm just going to be really vague here.
Sure.
But what they do is you can call them because your roof is 10 plus years old, and now your insurance company says, I'm not going to insure this, right?
Okay.
Now, again, another Canadian-based company. So what they will come do is they can come in and technically like paint your roof. Now, cool part about this is if you're flipping a house and you got a red roof on this house or a green roof, and you're like, my gosh, why did they ever do this? Well, you can paint and change the color of the roof without replacing it.
Okay.
Also puts the sand granulants back onto the roof. And so it will fill in all those holes, and it gives it a stronger texture than a hail-resistant roof.
Okay, so you're taking an existing asphalt shingle, like just a normal, most people
roof
have on their house, not a flat roof, none of that. This is just asphalt shingles. Let's say you're getting some wear. A lot of times when you go up and you look at a damaged roof, you're going to have impact spots from hail, right? And that will then in turn it cause the asphalt material or the granules to come off and go into your gutters, and you'll see them on the downspouts.
And to clarify this, they can't. I'm not sure if they can take a roof that's already damaged.
Oh, okay.
But like an aged roof that the granulants have all come off, and you're starting to see the black, and you're starting to see the asphalt. They can come in and respray it. Now, when you do this, it adds a level of protection against hail resistance.
Got it.
And it also, to an insurance company, makes them, at least in Canada, and they're in every single city in Canada. They're listed as a top 195. They're listed as not 190, but as top franchises in the world right now.
Okay,
so they're a big company, and they're just coming to U.S. But in Canada, also when an insurance company says, "Oh, your roof's 10 years old, we can't insure you," they actually have on there. You can go to SprayNet and go get this roof resprayed, and they will make it like new. Plus, it has an extended warranty of 15 years on the roof, and also gives it the hail-resistant coating. But you can, like I said, if you're doing a flip house and you got a nice roof on there, but you need the color change, that's an option too.
That really sucks. I will tell you that personally, with all the houses I've flipped over the years, it really sucks when you have an off-color roof, or if you want to do a different paint scheme on the siding or trim or both, and the roof is not damaged. So you'd be stupid to, throw $12,000 or $15,000 or whatever your price point is and buying a new roof just because you don't like the color. So this would be a nice option, especially if you can get a substantial cost savings over replacement.
As an agent, if you're selling some properties and you know that this is an issue, this is a great opportunity to talk to your clients about having a lower cost alternative, but make the house more attractive for buyers.
Yeah. Now, when are you buying this franchise?
I'm not. I'm
taking investments.
I'm looking at some franchises just as an opportunity on the side. As I'm selling off some of my portfolio, as you're more aware, and I'm looking to either potentially a franchise or maybe into assets that don't require the same level of management. So, like storage units, something along those lines. I don't know which way I'm going, but I want to keep my options open. So I'm learning a lot during this time.
Yeah, super cool.
But it's funny, as I'm looking at this, my real estate career side of the business has just completely blown up in the last week or two or a few weeks. So I've one client I sold a 40 house package to, and he's like, "Yep, I'm ready to sell now." And cool thing about that is he's like, "Hey, so like a 40 house package," and he's like, "If somebody's can come up with like $1.5 million and pay all closing costs and commissions, I'll sell or finance the other $4 million."
What's the whole portfolio at right now for price?
So he's valuating it about 5.5.
Okay,
and that 5.5 is literally the Zillow values.
Got it.
And so they're actually pretty low. And all this portfolio has all new roofs, all new windows, all new furnaces, mostly having all new siding. Egress windows are already done, and they're all on the north side of Omaha here, and all but 5 units are rented.
Okay.
And so, I've got a couple of people I'm talking to, which would be a nice commission check if I can get this done. But yeah, he's willing to sell or finance, a large majority of it if somebody pays off the note portion.
Okay, super cool. So anybody catching this episode looking for a house package, reach out to Ted, and make it rain.
Yeah, and
you don't see those very often.
No,
I've never actually taken one of those down. I've had people present them like a whole bunch of times over the years, and I'm like, it'd just be so hard to.
So I got one buyer that I'm talking to, and he wants to take the whole thing and make them all Section 8s.
Okay.
And I got another buyer that I'm talking to, and he wants to take the whole thing down and hold them. And then there's another guy I'm talking to, and he's like, I want to take the whole thing down, and then he wants to start selling off as each one gets vacant, flip them, and then have a whole portfolio of flips.
Oh yeah, and that's interesting.
And then flip them as they come vacant.
Yeah.
And
That's kind of a cool approach.
So
it's like a slow flip over a whole bunch of properties.
And my client, that's exactly what he's doing. He's like, well, if we don't sell the package, let's renovate each house individually
as they vacate.
So we have 5 houses that are in construction, in rehab right now, or going into rehab that we're going to do this process to, unless the package sells.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of value to that, but it's kind of interesting. And then I think I put up like 9 listings this week from another package for sale. And then I got my stuff that's listed and going on the market for sale. So it's been really kind of nuts. And then I have 3 into other clients that have like 1 and 2 houses. And one guy, I have his listing. Man, what a headache this is. This is a good conversation. But here in Omaha, we have a rental inspection program. Just to clarify, I'm going by what somebody tells me. I can't verify. I don't have verification of all this information. Okay. But from what I'm told on this one, he had a rental inspection. The city comes in and says, well, we want separate, it's a conversion 3 unit.
Okay.
And like, we want separate furnaces in all the units.
Of course they do.
And then they wanted, and then there was a retaining wall that had a lean to it.
Okay.
So between the furnace redos, adding the AC units, and a handful of other little stuff, and this was a fully rehab property, he's $90,000 into this now, and he's out of state, and he's like, there's done. He's done, and he's got a couple properties in town. He's like, I am done with Omaha. So he hired a contractor. And he thought when he remodeled the whole place originally, he thought they followed city code with everything. Well, they didn't pull permits.
Oh boy!
So the city saw that one sink had like PVC piping going to it, and another one had copper.
Yep.
When they looked under, now there's no physical issues with water lines or plumbing, and you have a nice place, and everybody has leases through 2025, and it's renting really good, right? So the city now said, "Oh, you didn't pull permits when you did the plumbing." He's like, "Are you kidding me?" And then, so long story short, with this is now their city's requiring that all the water lines get pulled out.
I had this happen.
$30,000, and there's water lines going through the floor, and we have to relocate all the tenants, do a $30,000 plumbing, then patch everything up. And I had like 7 offers on this place for full price, pending. And then we thought this was all we were all good, and we're signed off. But the city came in, saw that this plumbing thing wasn't taken care of, and they cut a hole supposedly, and then checked it, and they're like, nope, all the water lines have to be torn in the whole place because he didn't pull permits.
I had this. It's funny that you are almost describing exactly what happened to me a few years back with a 3-plex. But it was a built for purpose 3-unit, and I had to do exactly what you're talking about. I put in PEX. It was all the same, and then we had PVC drain lines. Which okay, now with all this being said, I had to tear out all the stuff and re-permit it. And what I found out was if it's over 2 units, at least in the city of Omaha, you have to have cast iron and copper. You can't have any plastic that could melt. So CPVC, PVC, PEX, that kind of stuff. You can't. I take that back. You can use some types of PEX, but you can't intermix.
You think you'd want the water lines to be plastic because if you had a fire, then that water would spur everywhere and take the fire out.
You would think so. Yeah, I know you're right. But the thought is there, or at least why they don't allow it is because when it melts, that black smoke comes out, and if a unit is not on fire, let's say it's next door, they could die from noxious fumes.
Oh, okay.
That's why you have to have cast iron in anything above 2 units.
Man,
it sucked.
It's interesting.
Like I was so pissed after that, but good lesson learned.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that is a painful reminder to everyone, including myself, to make sure that you use the right materials and hire the right contractors and pull the right permits for jobs that you're doing, right?
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by JM Real Estate Capital.
Hi, it's Rob, JM Real Estate Capital. We're the money guys that you need to know for all your real estate investments. Talk to us. We can do what your local bank can't or won't do. We don't have millions. We have trillions with a T to lend. 844 we close, or go online, jmrecapital.com. That's jmrecapital.com. JM Real Estate Capital, smart solutions for the real estate investor.
And also, this is pretty cool. So in Wednesday's episode this week, a blast from the past for me personally, we have a guest coming on by the name of Tom Kroll. And Tom is like, I'm going to hold some of the info back here because I want you to enjoy the episode and learn like I did from here. But I ran across Tom when he very, very first got started in real estate investing. And actually, he had not even gotten started yet. He was just learning how to wholesale and do transactional real estate from his brother. And he learned a lot along the way and then basically just mashed on the gas, kind of like you zipping around the racetrack this week.
That's so much
which
fun.
We didn't talk about. Anyway, Tom has he exploded into the real estate wholesaling scene probably about, I want to say, 12, 13 years ago, something like that. And did a shitload of transactions in a very short amount of time, like over 100 deals in his first 18 months in the business. And since then, I have not listened to a ton of his recent stuff. So I'm excited to learn about what he's up to now. I do know that he was on Bigger Pockets, which was episode 176.
An episode that you're yet to be on, but yes.
Yes. Thanks for reminding me.
Yep.
And he's been on a bunch of other stuff. If you Google Tom Kroll, Krol, you're going to find all kinds of great info out there. He's given away a ton of free information on YouTube and other podcasts and platforms. So stay tuned for this because this guy is like one of the more upbeat people that you will ever see in real estate investing. Like I'm really curious to talk to him now because I want to see if he's jaded like I am and like has a ton of wrinkles and lost his hair from being in real estate now for a dozen years. But this is going to be a super fun episode, really upbeat, exciting, like energetic guy. So, stay tuned for Tom Kroll on Wednesday.
And we're going to start a new hashtag called #Get Owen on BP.
Yeah. Yes. Let's start a movement.
Yeah. The movement started now. Well, stay tuned to Wednesday. We appreciate you guys. You guys have a great day. And we appreciate you guys on a REIA Radio podcast. Please leave us a 5-star review on whatever you listen to. And peace out, friends.
What up?